Well, welcome back. If you're just joining us on Facebook, Twitter or YouTube, even on DirecTV, our PGA.com coverage of the featured group, the lead group, going into the third round of Jordan Spieth, trying to get that final link of the career Grand Slam. And Brooks Koepka, who's just been in pure domination form, but he's just made a sloppy bogey at the 9th to only have a 7-shot lead, while Spieth has played his way out of being able to win this week after a double bogey at the last.
Well, and certainly I think Koepka's hands are going to be full with this second shot in that primary rough. That's all dependent on what kind of lie he draws, because that's a lot of yardage to cover on a second shot.
Especially to Steve's point is that there is no way to be able to run the ball onto this green. It is completely grassed, heavy, rough from 70 yards short of this green towards the green. But first, Jordan Spieth.
Yeah, key fairway to hit. This is a perfect angle, though, from this left side of the fairway. Don't want any part of those front green side bunkers.
He's had a whole lot of poor iron shots today. A bit more watchful here. That's a whole lot better.
Yeah, when he kind of takes a step back and then his eyes stay connected. If he watches it intently, it's usually pretty good. But now Koepka, he's trying to get a lot out of this.
Somewhere in that front bunk is not a bad outcome.
And I think that's all he was trying to capture. Just put me in that bunker, give me some room to hit the bunker shot, and move on.
I loved when he was in an interview yesterday, and somebody asked him about, well, what happens when you hit in the rough? He said, well, that's why I go to the gym.
Spends a lot of time with his trainer, Joey D. Also looks after Dustin Johnson. They like to get in there and outlift each other.
I would say that well, you go all the way back to Tiger to change the mindset of what guys on the PGA Tour did. But Koepka and Dustin Johnson, they've kind of taken it to a new level.
Well, Koepka's got the big guns. DJ's more wiry, isn't he? He's more that longer, softer muscle, even though he's very strong and physical. Dustin Johnson, who got to within 7 shots at 7 under, has just gone bogey at 10-11, so he's now back into a tie for third alongside Luke List, who's 1 under through 12 holes. But Janawattanond, 23-year-old from Thailand, guys. He had a win at the Singapore Open at the tail end of last year to start this Asian Tour season. Tied 9th, 4th, 3rd, tied 5th, tied 19th. You think he's playing any good?
Pretty solid.
No,
at least the finishes indicate that.
Right. Now, I understand it's on a tour that's not nearly as strong as the PGA Tour, but those results don't come around if you are not in form.
No,
or
absolutely
confident.
not. I mean, it's tough to win a golf tournament.
Anyway.
I mean, you can go ahead and look at what Joaquin Niemann.
In the amateur ranks, what he was doing then.
And then you come to the pros, and then all of a sudden you just think that you're just going to win right away. And it doesn't always translate. So any win's a good win. But I think he was pretty fortunate with this one as well. You know, just a little bump right here.
Stance was a little awkward, was a little bit more on top of that ball maybe than he wanted to be, but okay, well, we're seeing human Brooks Koepka come out just for a second. He may go away again shortly, but
may hit that a little on the toe. Standing so close to it like that.
Now Jordan, after a great iron shot, has a chance to pick up one of the 2 drop shots that he expectedly made at 9.
I think he's inside Koepka.
Oh, he's definitely inside. Koepka's still got work to do to save his par. He was put under pressure at 7, got a good up and down there. The 8 was an outstanding up and down. The 9 was a 3-putt from nowhere. And here he is now in another position. So after that incredible start through the first 6 holes where he didn't have a birdie putt outside 16 feet, he's now in the heart of the golf course and he's being tested.
7 through 12. It's amazing. You go through that stretch of holes. It's the third of a grouping of 6. And when you take it in a third, and a third, that middle block of holes, if you can get through those even par, you have a great chance of posting a good score.
Okay, so it's going to be consecutive bogeys at the turn here for Koepka, and those 2 shots that he picked up at the 2nd and 5th holes are evaporated. He's back to -12, so the gap's back to 6 shots now. To a 23-year-old from Thailand who has had next to no form on US soil. 72nd in the world, though, which speaks volumes for his abilities.
There are a lot of great players in the world. I mean, there are so many that people haven't even remotely heard of, the general golfing public.
And you're right. Until Haotong Li, started playing in some of the WGCs, how many people knew Haotong Li? And
you had to be dedicated European Asian Tour
exactly
fan. For birdie.
Big putt here for Jordan. Big putt. Cannot leave it short. And that's when the try factor and the nerves show up a little bit. Is that when the pace of the putts become a little off, that's where it shows up first.
Back on Haotong Li, he won his National Open, which is a co-sanctioned event on the European Tour, and that really got his career going. He is a big bright star for Chinese golf. So Spieth's going to walk across to the 11th hole, but Jazz Janawattanond, he is outright second to Brooks Koepka. Could you imagine that pairing in the final round of this PGA Championship? He weighs in at 150 pounds. 5'9". It would be an unfair fight, wouldn't it? But DJ still has a chance to bounce back from his bogeys. Luke List, big ball hitter. And it's some good play going on, including Harold Varner III. And he's moved up to -4. And here he is at 13, the par 5. Birdie putt here. He was working a long time on the greens last night.
When I look at players on the PGA Tour, and you look at attitude, and you look at a Peter Malnati who has this fabulous attitude, I look at Harold Varner III as probably one of those guys that has that exceptional attitude. He's always upbeat, no matter how he's playing. Just seems to take everything in stride.
I'll have a story about that in a moment. Spieth on the tee here at 11. A fairway that you can't see.
Right down the walk path. That's the sight line. It's got to get right. It's got to get right.
So Ray Farnell, who is Harold Varner III's caddy, he said, if I could just get him to keep his concentration for longer than 6 holes. I just want him maybe if he played 9 holes where he wasn't everyone's best friend and talking to the crowd and high-fiving, he'd be world class. Now Koepka trying to respond after a couple of small blemishes.
Yeah, a couple of loose drives to the right.
Oh, wow. That's how you respond.
It's just kind of like, you know what? I'm just not going to miss it right again the rest of the day. I am just going to go ahead and roast this right down the fairway.
It's all about attitude. He's high on confidence too, isn't he? Brooks Koepka coming off a couple of bogeys, trying to respond back here at 11.